Hi everyone, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And there's so much going on in the world today. I thought I'd bring you some of it. And the reason I'm bringing it to you is so that you can look at it and see, is there going to be an impact on your life? If there is, then you'll know what to do. If there isn't, you can just ignore these things and go on to the next thing. So let's go look at some of this that's going on and see what's going to impact your life and what isn't. So we're over here at thehill.com, and California is the first state to ban natural gas heaters and furnaces. So will that impact your life? Sure, if you live in California, but what happens in California spreads to the other states. So yes, it could impact our life greatly. And this is the independentsentinel.com. Klaus Schwab sees everyone microchipped in the next 10 years. And he's talking about microchipping everyone and will be implanted in our clothes and eventually our brains or skin. Going to have to catch us first, I guess. Certainly in the next 10 years, everyone will be implanted with chips, he says. It will enable direct communication between our brain and the digital world. Isn't that what you want? Once chipped, we don't have to do a thing to reach the digital world. It will be natural, notes the host. Schwab says, yes, you can talk, and you say, I want to talk and be connected with anyone now. First thing you're going to have are personalized bots with AI, artificial intelligence. The robot will not only be your assistant for manual work, but can be your intellectual partner for you. So I guess you won't be lonely anymore because you're going to have all these bots and you're going to be implanted with the microchip. This would impact us. So what we should be trying to do is figure ways to stop it, and stop it now before the police come to your door with the microchip. And from shtfplan.com, bread prices in the European Union soar. And naturalnews.com, ADHD medication Adderall is running out of stock at CVS and Walgreens amid soaring demand. So they're running out of this medication. And there are other medications they're running out of too. I did a whole video of how you could go and find out what drugs are in short supply. I'll try to find the link to that and put it right up in the corner here. The United States is now experiencing a massive shortage of Adderall. Patients in California, Indiana, and Michigan who ordered over the past 2 months at CVS and Walgreens and Alliance pharmacies are told the drug is out of stock. They'll have to wait more than a week to buy it. There are supply chain challenges with this drug. Scarcity began with a labor shortage. So if you know anybody who's using this drug, maybe you better stock up now if you can. Now this next one is one that I just hope never happens. And this is from thefallingdarkness.com. Thefallingdarkness.com. Nuclear war is possible, says a U.S. commander. And this is September 23rd. That was yesterday. For the first time since the Cold War, conflict with a nuclear-armed peer is no longer theoretical, Admiral Charles Richards said. Navy Admiral Charles Richards, commander of the U.S. Strategic Command, declared on Wednesday that for the first time since the end of the Cold War, the U.S. faces the possibility of nuclear war with a peer-level opponent. He claimed that the U.S. would have to prepare to escalate quickly against possible opponents and to protect the homeland. This is no longer theoretical. This is no longer theoretical. Russia and China can escalate to any level of violence that they choose in any domain with any instrument of power worldwide, he continued. We just haven't faced competitors and opponents like that in a long time. And of course, we all heard the other day when the Russian President Putin said that Without a doubt, the Kremlin will use all available means to protect Russia and our people, should territory be threatened. So we have this possibility of a nuclear war. That's really going to affect us if that happens. We could really have to pray and do everything we can, and I don't know what we can to stop it from happening. But in the meantime, you might want to stock up on things. This one is welovetrump.com. Watch, permanent climate lockdowns coming soon. And again, the World Economic Forum is saying this, that they expect to have climate lockdowns, permanent climate lockdowns. We're already seeing these ideas in action across the ocean in Europe, a continent that has been thoroughly destroyed through modern leftist thinking over and over again. I think we are being thoroughly destroyed here. We know they're in an energy crisis over there. And instead of admitting fault and correcting the disastrous policies by looking for some kind of energy independence, they're cajoling people into using a little less for the good of society. We're witnessing something similar in California. And this person says, my advice, don't comply, never comply with the mentally ill. Don't turn your heat down. Don't give up your car. Don't submit to driving only on certain days. So we have lockdowns. And this is from the International Business Times. Ford puts the brake on deliveries amid parts shortages and supply chain issues. And this again is yesterday, September 23rd. And their popular F-Series pickup truck and other models, because it doesn't have enough oval nameplates to put on the vehicles. Boy, I think if that's the whole reason they're holding it up, I'm not sure that it could just be because of a nameplate. But it underscores the post-pandemic supply chain challenges Ford and its competitors are facing. So you know if there's supply chain problems with Ford, it's going to be for other things too. So make a list of what you need and start picking it up now. You know, the chip problem we've had doesn't have enough parts to finish making 45,000 pickups and SUVs. And then General Motors, Chrysler, and every other large automaker have made similar announcements this year. So we have Ford saying they don't have enough parts. And we have over here again the International Business Time. Nordstrom is laying off 222 workers. And this is yesterday, 9/23/22. So they're laying off 222 workers. And if you go down here, you can see that other places, Walmart updates return policy for holidays, Bed Bath & Beyond closing over 50 stores, Amazon is reducing its footprint by closing a number of warehouses. Other retailers that have announced layoffs, The Gap, it's cutting 500 corporate jobs, Dr. Martens, Rent the Runway, I'm not sure what that is, Shopify, Walmart has cut staff by 200. So we have layoffs coming, we have a lack of supplies, all kinds of different things happening in the world. And I wanted to go over here to naturalnews.com because Big Pharma says most adults have mental illness and require prescriptions for expensive pharmaceutical cures. So you know it's just another money grab by the pharmaceutical companies that the doctors are going along with. And again, this is yesterday, September 23rd. So to keep the gravy train moving, the pharmaceutical industry has teamed up with the Department of Health and Human Services to recommend that all adults in the United States under the age of 65 be screened for anxiety disorders. Oh, I'm 75, so hey, I don't have to be screened. Isn't that great? A panel of experts commissioned by the HHS said that all people in the U.S., regardless of age, should be evaluated for depression. So the PSTF, and that's the Preventive Services Task Force, a new task force, never heard of it, wants all children and adolescents to take pharmaceutical drugs for brain issues. So by getting Americans hooked on brain-bending drugs from a laboratory, Big Pharma will not only profit, but also gain even more control over people's minds, their thoughts, and their actions. But then we're going to get that chip in our brain too. So we'll have the pharmaceutical drugs, we're going to have that chip. Boy, it's going to be something. You do know I'm not serious when I say that. And over here, theamericanthinker.com, and this one says that the current crime wave is unlike any ever experienced in America, and this is yesterday again, September 23rd. New Orleans reclaimed the title of the American's deadliest city. The murder rates just jumped 141%. And New York, Chicago, Portland, LA, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and other American cities are all part of the club. Crime has been up across America over the last 2 years. What Americans experiencing today is exponentially worse than the typical crime that America is used to. Violence is not only going to a new level in terms of frequency, but its locales. It's no longer limited to dark corners or deserted parking lots. It now occurs in the middle of the regular hustle and bustle of Americans' daily lives. It's taking place in broad daylight in view of video cameras, often with others videoing the carnage and sharing it on social media. It's in Main Street, USA, in the schools, the drugstores, the fast food restaurants, subway platforms, high-end retail stores, and, of course, homes. And you have those large groups of young people going in and stealing, just taking things right off the shelves. And the violence is unprecedented in its scale. So this is what we have going on this week. A lot of different things, a lot of things that could impact your life. So just look at them, see what you think is going to impact your life. For example, crime will impact your life. And if you think crime is coming to where you go to the grocery store, when you go to the doctor, when you go to the hardware store, if you think it's coming there, you've got to be really alert. So you have to plan on what you're going to do when you go. No, you want to plan on what you can do so that you're not a victim. You're not a victim of crime. You don't let crime come to you. So you have to be prepared. So look at all these things. Let me know how they're going to affect your life. Leave us a message in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.